Different story from that same source. At Thanksgiving, my aunt pulled me into the pantry and asked, "Honey, is it true you've been leaving your father alone for days?" I laughed before I understood the question. Alone? I sleep on his couch 4 nights a week. She didn't laugh back. She looked out at my brother Grant in the living room, and something in her face went loose. "Grant showed us a video Sunday," she said. "Your dad, sitting in his chair, saying nobody comes, saying he's hungry, saying his own daughter took his bank card and doesn't come back." I stood in that pantry holding a bag of dinner rolls and could not make my mouth work. Our dad has Lewy body dementia. He was diagnosed 2 years ago. I moved my whole life around it. I cut to part-time, learned to crush his pills into applesauce, learned which hours he's still himself and which hours he isn't. Grant lives 20 minutes away and comes at Christmas. "Show me the video," I said. My aunt pulled it up. There he was in his recliner, thinner than he should be, saying in a flat little voice, "Nobody comes. She took my card. I'm hungry all the time." The room tilted. "Aunt Deb, I do his groceries every Sunday. I have receipts for all of it. That's what I told Grant. He said you'd say that." So I got out my phone. Photos of his fridge, dated every week. The pill organizer with the tape labels, 3 months of pharmacy pickups in my name, a text from his home health aide from that same Tuesday. He ate the whole plate today. He was in a good mood. Deb looked between my phone and the video, like the floor was moving. I walked out to the living room and asked Grant to play it again for everybody. He said sure, a little too fast. We watched it a second time, and that's when my cousin Renee said, "Wait, why does Uncle Ray keep looking off to the side?" Grant said he was just confused. "Play it again," Renee said. The third time, we all saw it. My father's eyes going to the left off camera before every single sentence. Checking, waiting, then the line comes out. I turned to my brother. "You fed him the words." Grant's face went hard. "He's telling the truth. You just don't want to hear it." And then my father, who had been quietly working on a roll at the end of the table this whole time, looked up at the sound of his own name and said, in that gentle way he has when he's trying to be helpful, "Am I saying it right this time, son?" Nobody in that room moved. I knelt down next to his chair. "Saying what right, Daddy?" He patted my hand. He didn't know me that hour. The part about the card. He said if I say it right, I get to stay in my house. Grant started talking fast about how none of us understand, how he's been carrying this alone, how he's the one who has to think about the future. Deb told him to be quiet. He didn't. So I asked him straight out, why? He stopped. And then his face changed into something I'd never seen on my own brother, flat and businesslike. And he said, "The house is worth $400,000. Guardianship hearing is in January. I need the court to see a pattern." My uncle put down his fork. "You rehearsed a man with dementia. He doesn't even remember doing it," Grant said. Like that made it better. That was the sentence that ended him in that family. My uncle said it out loud, that Dad not remembering was the entire reason it was the worst thing he'd ever heard. Deb had her phone out before anyone stood up. Adult Protective Services took the report that night. Renee sent them the 3 videos Grant had already circulated in the family group chat because he'd never thought to delete them. His guardianship petition was dismissed in January. The judge read the transcripts of all 4 recordings, watched my father's eyes track off camera and everyone, and used the word coached from the bench. Grant was removed from Dad's power of attorney entirely, and he isn't allowed unsupervised visits. I have full guardianship now. It took 4 months and most of my savings, and I would do all of it again tomorrow. Dad has good hours and bad ones. Most days he doesn't know my name and calls me by my mother's, and I've stopped correcting him because there's no point in winning that one. But that night, after everyone left, I was wiping down his counters and he watched me from his chair for a long time and said, clear as anything, "You're the one who stays." Then he asked me who I was. I said, "I'm the one who stays."